Hey, what's up guys? It's Greg and I'm back following up with another video. And today we're going to be talking about heading to St. Louis to meet with the thoracic oncologist there and basically figure out, what they can provide me there and, still, try to determine even more what our next steps are going to be. So we were headed to St. Louis. We knew that immunotherapy could be a very viable option. We still not had received the mutation genetic testing results, so we were still waiting for those. And I believe it was a Thursday that we went to see the oncologist. I still really didn't know what to expect from this oncologist. I knew that this was a bigger cancer center, more prestigious medical school, access to more clinical trials. But other than that, I didn't know what this oncologist might be able to provide. So when we met with him in the appointment, and he basically kind of reviewed all of the options that potentially could be available. We talked about potentially just doing, if nothing else was going to work, we could do chemo and a combination of radiation. And he actually felt, that there was a potential that they may be able to control it with that. But really anything after a year, all bets were off. He specialized in tumor immunology. So immunotherapy is a branch of that. And, at this point, unless I was eligible for a targeted therapy, he was very set on doing immunotherapy. Talking through that, he did mention that we needed to do a brain MRI. I had done a CT scan of my brain, to see if there were any brain tumors. This is another reason why I'm glad we switched cancer centers. That was something my oncologist in Kansas City never recommended. But he said that a CT scan can, oncologist in St. Louis said a CT scan can miss if the tumor is really small, and that a full brain MRI is the only way to be 100% certain nothing has gone to the brain. So I was, Maureen and I were kind of freaking out a little bit at this point because, we were so pleased with the results before that there was nothing in the brain, there was nothing, in the bones or liver. But, to learn that there was still the potential of a brain tumor kind of scared us. So I went that following evening for the brain MRI. And just to kind of, to move, jump ahead a little bit, it was negative. There were no brain tumors, so it did not impact anything at this point. Getting back to that the first appointment in St. Louis, though, my oncologist's, main concern, in the short term was the fluid. He said that if the fluid returned, we would either have to abandon the immunotherapy because it wouldn't work, apparently, if you're having to remove fluid every so often from the lungs, or if it's not real bad, we would just ignore the fluid and continue with the treatment anyway. So there was going to be several more echocardiograms scheduled for my heart to look at that. I know this video was a little disjointed and maybe hard to follow. To kind of recap everything I talked about. Basically, we started in Kansas City. We knew that wasn't the best place to be treated, so we traveled to St. Louis, where I grew up, and we saw the oncologist there. And at this point in my story, we had the imaging results, we had some of the testing results, and we were considering immunotherapy as a strong treatment choice, but we still needed to wait for the target therapy. In my next video, I'll be talking about the very next day, because I had to be taken to the ER that Friday after my first appointment in St. Louis. So I'll be sharing that with you. And again, questions, comments, leave them in the comment section below. And I will see you in the next video.